Hello and welcome to the Autos and Airways podcast. We are here with Emeka Ossai, driven hard on YouTube, drives his Range Rover hard everywhere, currently enjoying the sunshine and sea in Mexico right now. So all the way from Mexico. Emeka, thank you so much for coming back on.
Yeah, man. No, this is great. Last time we were talking, I was up in Canada, drove all the way down. Yes, I drove the Range Rover all the way down to Mexico and enjoyed some time on the beach. And now we're in Monterey. And yeah, man. So let's do it.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do this. I'm probably going to stitch some parts of the old one together to make this, because we went really long on the old, just talking about the new Range Rover.
Yeah, we ended at the technology part,
which is what
you can literally you can just bring stuff up and we can talk about it.
Yeah, why not?
If you want to bring up different things, we can just talk about it and go back and forth like that.
Yeah. Let's just kind of go from the beginning and we'll kind of briefly discuss everything. Yep. So I guess we'll start off with, I know the thing that you really were concerned about, and I still have not gotten a complete answer on this, was the new four-wheel drive system or all-wheel.
And I hate all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But that's my old thinking. And you know what? After actually talking to some mechanics, talking to Al at HEPS Automotive, who specializes with Land Rover products, we were talking about it and he explained to it. He's like, bro, you're thinking like it was back in the 1990s with all-wheel drive, when it took 10 seconds for the front wheels and the back wheels to connect.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no,
it doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
He's like, this is instantaneous. You'll still be driving on the freeway and it'll be switching and you won't be able to tell. And I kept throwing the arguments back to him. He's like, technology is so good now that and we don't know a ton about it yet, but I'm sure it'll work just like the automatic differentials that work on the Defender and Ranger on the current lineup. Whereas when you're off the gas, the diffs are open. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you hit a bit of throttle, the diffs close.
Yeah.
And I could see that exactly happening. Or what could also be a thing is when it's in comfort mode, and this is what I probably would imagine, when it's in comfort mode, it does do the rear wheel drive thing. But when you put it down to auto, I bet, if anything, because auto is designed for off-road ready, it'll put it into permanent four-wheel drive at all times. So how do you get around? Hey, I want to drive around 80 kilometers an hour, 45 miles an hour in the rain on the highway, going through puddles. Well, you put it in auto and you don't do that in comfort, because now you have the security of the four-wheel drive system versus rear-wheel drive and switch into all-wheel drive within a nanosecond.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to find out where, again,
it doesn't explain what I just said. That's just me thinking that's probably how it works. There are I couldn't find any details on, okay, how does the system work through the different modes? Just the usual Land Rover gibberish that they spew out.
And I think that's probably gonna, I think putting it in auto will it's
lock it into four-wheel drive. That just makes more sense because that's what it's right.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I'm thinking that's probably how it'll work.
We don't know, but like I said, that thing just with those all-wheel drives, and I also would assume, because like we talked about, Mazda is it's proactive. Like the lights are on or temperature sensors. I think it's cold, and I know it does that in the Range Rover. It's cold. Like if it's under a certain temperature, it will always be in four-wheel drive.
Yes.
But it with Mazda, if the wipers are on, it goes into all-wheel drive. I would assume that Land Rover would be doing the same thing.
Yeah. No.
It's all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is always connected when driving off-road. So I assume, leaving it in auto, it knows it's off.
Right. You're in auto, you're off road. So that's what I would assume. Right. That's the way to get around that one concern I had about the new system. So.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't think anyone has anything to worry about. But yeah, but but like it's interesting because like it is really cool how they just as you were saying before, the diffs lock when you're and they don't fully lock. I mean, sometimes they do. Sometimes
Depends
they
what
don't.
mode you're
You
in.
can see whatever, if you put it in rock crawl, then it's always locked. But yeah, and actually yours has the rear diff.
Oh yeah.
Well.
No.
Then you can
Having the most fully optioned four-wheel drive system was like the number one thing when I got it. It was like every world. Yeah. So
yeah, I have the diff lock on the rear. As well.
I don't understand this halfway
but
four-wheel drive system.
Don't all the V8s come standard with the rear locker?
No, I don't know. I have no clue.
Really?
No idea, man. No clue.
Like when did you spec yours out?
Bro, I had like choice of 5 options because I got the autobiography.
Yeah.
So like I had like 5 extra options to go with because it had everything.
Yeah.
So and then the HST wasn't an option back then, which is kind of like a lower end luxury one, I think.
And you get more power.
And you get more power, right?
But you still have to pay extra for the low ratio, the twin speed transfer case, because that's not standard. But that is standard on all the V8s. That's why I was asking if the rear diff lock was standard on the V8s.
I don't know. One, it was just not so long ago, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But 2, they've changed a lot. Like I got it and I paid $100 for Apple CarPlay.
Yeah.
But it's free now. It was free a few months later. But so it's just like they change how they do it, even though the model hasn't changed. They just change what they're selling based on
kind of funny because my mom's Discovery, that's 2017. That thing is, we got that almost 4.5 years ago. And that thing did not even have Apple CarPlay when it came out. But they did a software update for free that enabled it. And I don't use it. I don't like it. My mom has no idea what it is and she wants nothing to do with it. But yeah, so I guess, but with that, that's definitely cool. We still have obviously center and rear locking differentials on the new one, standard rear locking diff, which before it wasn't. Again, I can't remember if the V8s all had the standard rear locking diff, but on most models it was an option. But it's cool that the E-diff is now standard on the new Range Rover. Also, rear wheel steering, that's really
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Rear wheel steering, really, you don't really think it's going to do much, but it does. Just steering those rear wheels just a little bit. Really, please tell me you cannot hear that, right?
No.
The AC just turned on and it's really loud.
No, I can't hear it at all, man.
All right, good. This new mic that my aunt and uncle got me for Christmas is working. So that's like the one thing I got for Christmas. I asked because I was like, for me, Christmas is like, there's nothing I want other than a Swiss Army knife, and I want the illuminated tread plates on my Defender. Well, the illuminated tread plates, I went to buy them. They don't have them in my color in the US yet. I can get black ones.
Yeah.
But that's not going to match my interior. The other thing I wanted was a Swiss Army knife. My mom said that she got it for me. She lost it. She lost it. And it still can't find it.
Oh, really?
So that's how my Christmas went. But it's fine. She can't find it. I'll just buy one. I mean, they're not expensive. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and they're like $30. I
think the one I texted her that I wanted was like $30, and she said she didn't even get me that one. So I was like, okay, so you either got me one that has way more tools than I'll ever need, or you got me like the $12 one that's literally a knife and a toothpick. But whatever, we will.
all good.
All good. But yeah, I think just some more stuff. They're talking. Omicron is now a thing, apparently. The cabin air purification pro filter.
Yeah, I'd like to see the actual size behind that. I'm pretty sure 80% of that's marketing. Like, obviously there is some stuff I'm sure it does, but like how it actually affects you is probably complete BS. Like in
Yeah.
terms of like how like the air, how much cleaner is your air inside your car? Like
It's not.
like, and how much is it? How much cleaner is it to actually making any difference? Like to your
Right.
like that's just.
And the other thing they're talking about is how it's all new, and they've been doing this for several years now. It's not all new.
I was disappointed with their
Yeah.
well, yeah, we talked about that in the first episode. Like,
Yeah. And like this stuff is just like cabin air. Mercedes, the new EQS, has this exact same thing in it.
Yeah, I've just never like I option it because it's an option.
Yeah.
But like I don't care about
Yeah,
it.
you could get that on the Defender. I didn't get it because you had to get the 3-zone climate control, which I didn't get because I hardly ever have people in the back seat.
Yeah.
And it was like pretty expensive too. I was like, I really don't need this. I got the higher end one. I was like, yeah, it would have came with it, but I was just like, I don't.
Yeah.
It's not really all that necessary when,
well, if you're by yourself
of the time, it's just me in the car.
Well, yeah, like then it doesn't make sense. But I tell you, like when we drove down from Canada, having a 4-zone,
it was fantastic. Yeah,
it was fantastic because everyone's like, it's just like it's great. I didn't think I was going to enjoy that feature as much.
Yeah.
But no, it makes a massive, massive difference.
It does. Yeah. My dad's Audi has 4-zone in it, and it's lovely. My dad's Audi has that. My mom's Discovery has the 3-zone. In the Discovery, they screwed you over because like the 3-zone was standard on like HSE and HSE luxury, and ours is the luxury. And you could get in the 3-zone, there are only 2 air vents for the second row passengers, and they're in the B pillars, and they are fucking like this tall and like this narrow, and that's the only airflow you get. So it's completely
in
useless.
The Discovery or Discovery Sport.
Discovery full size, the one that my mom has.
But that's like the base AC system.
It is technically the mid-grade AC system.
Okay, but yeah,
but it's on the top of the line model.
Well, yeah, because that's how they make money with options, right?
Right.
So
and like at the time, the only way you could get 4-zone is if you got like the luxury climate package.
Well, yeah, of course, because it's the luxury climate package.
Yeah, it was like I think it was like $4,000 or something, and the one that we got came from another dealer, and it didn't have it. If my mom were to order one, that was she did want that package, but that was the only thing that and the refrigerator were the 2 things my mom wanted on the Discovery, but that one didn't have, and it was basically the only green HSE luxury in the country. So, but yeah, but that 3, it's useless, and you had to get the 4-zone. But at least they kind of fix that with the facelift. They still have those little air vents in the B posts, but they put big ones behind the console.
That's good.
But yeah, I think what else do you want to talk about? Because I know last time we talked about there was some other stuff about the new. I mean, like I said, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, I because I'm not looking at the papers. I cannot remember what was on that sheet.
Shit,
I haven't seen anything that like, and I guess because they haven't done like the launch event just with everything that's been going on.
It was a long time ago. It was in October.
It was, but then also it's like usually after car launches starts getting out there, but probably because of just the state of everything, they haven't been able to push it out as much to get it. Like I know LA had the LA Auto Show. Yeah. I didn't see one interesting clip from that. Maybe Doug's was cool.
Yeah, Doug got
but like there was not one like
because everyone already saw it at the reveal.
Well, this is like until you drive it, like there's Doug mentioned a couple other cool things about it. I was like, oh yeah, like he increased my likability on it a little bit more, but it's still like I definitely don't feel like I'm missing out on anything yet. Right?
Yeah. Until you see one in person, and then you probably realize, because
that'll change. But then like it's like feature wise and everything like that. I'm like, all right, so it's a slightly newer system, but it's not drastically. It's not like a drastic overhaul.
Even though they would say it is, which I mean, technically it is. It just doesn't feel like it or look like it. You know what I mean?
It's because what's it called? Pivi Pro has been out on the Defender, and
yeah.
it's on the Velar. Like, so it's like, well, we've seen it already.
Yeah.
So okay, so
I thought you were talking about the whole car itself, not the
the car itself. Like, and that's where the difference. That's where I think it'll be more exciting when people start driving it.
I hope
right, because then we get to actually see how it all comes together.
Yeah,
and works.
You know, I have faith in them that they're not going to change the driving experience too much, because all Range Rovers are very kind of similar in how they drive. But I feel like the rear wheel steering is going to make this car much more fun to drive.
Probably
better off-road. It's going to handle better. I mean, I'm a huge advocate. I'm a four-wheel steer on anything, but especially Porsches. I mean, if you drive a Porsche 911 without rear wheel steering and one with rear steering, there's actually a big difference.
Yeah, no, the four-wheel steering is going to make a massive difference,
and especially
for
off-road.
such a big vehicle.
Off-road.
Yeah, it'll be neat to see it off-road. I wonder, I'd like to know what's the smallest wheels you can get. Hopefully you can still get 20s on it.
21s are the smallest.
No, but that's from the factory. Like, can you fit 20s without having to change the brakes?
Right. I would assume it probably.
Hopefully, as long as they haven't increased the brake size.
If it's using the same ones as assuming it's using the same brakes as the Defender,
I doubt it, because isn't it a lot heavier? Well, it's not a lot heavier, but like, do you have the Brembo brakes?
I do not have the Brembos on mine.
Okay, they're the Brembo. Is that what they're called?
Brembo.
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 I'm assuming it's using the Brembo brakes, not basic brakes. So who knows? Hopefully they're the same size, because putting 20s on it is like, if I was to get it, I'd want that so I can put some all-terrain tires on it.
Right, because I know with Defender, the 6-cylinder ones, they do come with the Brembos, or they're not Brembos, but they're Brembos. You know, it doesn't say Brembo.
What do you mean?
But like the 6-cylinder Defenders have the bigger brakes, which
Brembo doesn't Land Rover only use Brembo brakes for those?
Pretty much, yeah. Even though, but it doesn't say.
Yeah, I don't care what they say. Yeah.
It doesn't say. But if you get the V8, then it does say, Brembo and all that stuff. But they're and with the Brembos on the 6-cylinder, the smallest wheel you can fit without modification are 19s, assuming they use the same brakes on maybe the 6-cylinder Range Rover. You should be able to get 19s. Now, if they do it on the V8 ones, the Defender V8, the smallest wheel you can have are 20s. So I assume you could probably get 20s on the full size,
unless they got a whole new brake system coming in.
Unless they, which I doubt it, but I mean, you never know. You'll have to wait until the car.
They sure as hell didn't explain anything properly during their presentation.
No, God, like I watched, the reveal happened when I was at work, and I had it playing in the background. And I was like watching it, but not fully paying attention. Then I got home and I rewatched it in detail, and I'll never forget the thing that just stood out to me the whole time was freaking, Jerry McGovern, Jerry with a G. He was talking about wheels, 23-inch wheels, and he just goes in his silly act. He's like, this thing is a chariot for ladies and gentlemen. And that just made me cringe. Yeah, what is that? You're comparing a fucking Range Rover to a thing that's pulled by a horse in ancient Rome.
Well, keep in mind who traveled in chariots back in the day.
Yeah, fucking Caesar and
upper class citizens
and Caesars and the
me in a fucking chariot if you could please.
But they also raced them like NASCAR.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, I have those different chariots, but yeah, I know what you're saying. So,
God, I wonder that would be a fun race to watch, like a chariot race or a drag race.
I don't think that would be fun at all.
It'd be a hell of a lot more fun than NASCAR.
Yes. Well, isn't most things in life more fun than NASCAR?
I think the joy of a NASCAR race is just going there to get drunk, not actually watching the race. And it's fun when people crash.
Yeah, I definitely cannot relate to anything.
Yeah.
NASCAR.
Yeah, neither really can I. But also get off the chariot race. It'd be hilarious. Inevitably, when one tips over and the guy falls out and he gets run over by a horse. Like,
yeah, I've seen was it called Chuck Wagon Racing in Calgary? It's something similar to that. And oh yeah, man, you go to races to watch people crash.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that plug-in hybrid's pretty cool. I need to find that because there was some interesting stuff about the plug-in. Here we go. Oh, extended range, so you can get. The thing that's nice is this plug-in hybrid. They're not using the 4-cylinder anymore, which is what the current one has. In the
big Range Rover has
yeah,
the 4-cylinder engine in it.
The current plug-in hybrid big Range Rover has the 4-cylinder.
So like,
granted,
what
it's a hybrid
when they're going up a hill. Who cares what it is? It's an almost what 6,000. How much does it weigh?
I don't know off the top of my head how much the.
Well, I'll find out.
Yeah, let's. But the thing is,
Range Rover hybrid, right?
The plug-in hybrid, the P400E. I can
hybrid.
probably find that quickly, but the other thing is, keep in mind, it's a 300 horsepower turbocharged 4-cylinder with 100 horsepower electric motor. So, 400 horsepower, which is.
No, that's, yeah, okay. On paper, that sounds great. However, in reality, hold on, Velar, how much does my Range Rover weigh?
Range Rover
6,900 pounds as standard. So look,
no, 6,900 pounds for a
60. No, 6,920. Land Rover. Oh yeah, look, Land Rover, no Scottsdale. Okay, the Range Rover weight. Oh, why did it say 6,900?
That's probably the governor weight.
How much can a Range Rover? Yeah. Range Rover carry gross vehicle weight is 29. It's 69.
That's with
6,920. But the vehicle weight is, it's just under. It's 5 pounds shy of 5,000 pounds. So
the full size plug-in hybrid is 5,500 pounds.
Right, and so a 4-cylinder which is too small for that, with a battery pack, with a hybrid system that's too weak for that much weight, equals have fun going through mountains.
400 horsepower.
400 horsepower but it's not real, because you got a 4-cylinder trying to move all that weight, and then you have a hybrid system that's very small trying to move all that weight as well.
But bear in mind, the 4-cylinder recharges the battery, so you're always getting usually.
But it's like, go try pounding through some mountains and see how long that battery or that, like, now with anything big, I just want power.
The P400 Range Rover, the current one, the L405 full size, with the same 400 horsepower, but with a 6-cylinder. That thing weighs it
probably around the 5,000 mark.
I would say a little bit more because it's a mild hybrid. They're saying it's 4,974. It's probably like 5,200, but that's a 6-cylinder with the same amount of power.
Yeah.
And there's no replacement for displacement.
Yeah.
However,
I think and there are just some people who don't care about speed, and there are people who don't live in mountainous areas.
Right.
So like maybe a 6-cylinder Range Rover it's fine for them.
And I will say this, however, in my defense, my Defender is the 4-cylinder with no hybrid.
Right.
It's still a big car, 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, which isn't fast, but that's not slow by any means.
Oh, 7 seconds.
Yeah, it's 7. I mean,
7 seconds.
You're coming from a 5-liter V8, and I came from a 5-liter V8.
Right. How long is that engine gonna last though? That's the thing. That's the problem. And
honestly,
it's not going to last. It's not, because it's moving too much weight. It's under too much pressure. It's a 4-cylinder engine trying to move a big truck.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. There's a reason Honda was using 4-cylinder engines in their Civics.
Yeah.
Because it worked. Like you got a 4-cylinder engine in your Defender, 4-cylinder engines in a Civic. So long term, what's going to put a lot more stress on it?
It is. And
right. That's why V8s have the big lazy V8, because it's just like they're lazy. They don't like it, just right. And like, I know you don't care because it's like, you're going to have the car for what, 4 or 5 years.
Oh, I'm going to I promise I will never sell that car.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, you won't care because like, it's just those, like a small engine on a big vehicle over time, it just causes additional wear because the engine has to work so much harder.
I mean, the Defender weighs like 4,800 pounds, mine, which is still pretty heavy. It gets up and goes. I mean, it's not slow on the highway. You do need to give it a little bit more. If you need to pass someone really quickly, you do need to give it a little bit more throttle than my old LR4 with the V8. But in terms of 0 to 60, my old 375 horsepower naturally aspirated 5-liter Discovery 4 0 to 60 in 6.5. My 4-cylinder 296 horsepower Defender is 0 to 60 in 7. I mean, half second is a lot in the car world, but in reality, it's fine. And I got the 4-cylinder because I did not like how the 6-cylinder delivered power. And the V8 was just out of my price range.
Yeah, I don't think V8 was out there yet. V8 is bloody expensive, but oh my god, have you seen the new Bond done? The Bond.
Yeah.
If I was going to buy a Defender, it'd be the Bond edition.
You can't because they're all sold out.
Yeah, that thing is just so badass.
The thing is, I don't like for 23 they changed it up so you can get the tan interior on the V8 now. Before you could only get the V8 with the black Alcantara interior, which is just stupid. Full Alcantara on a Defender.
Well, but it's always when anything's new, you always have the fewest options. Yeah. And then as time goes on, man, there are way better specs for even the Sport right now than when I had the option, right? Like it's just how it is. Yeah. But it's all good.
Regardless, I'm happy with my choice. But let's go back to this new plug-in hybrid Range Rover, which no longer has that 4-cylinder. It has the 6-cylinder.
Right. And a better plug-in hybrid system, I believe.
Yes. Better battery.
They've designed it properly because because this was designed with electrification in mind. They had to retrofit that into the old one. Bingo. And that's always a problem because
it was a compliance car pretty much.
Exactly. And that's 100%.
And well, actually, it's weird. The L405 came like a year and a half after the L405 came out. They did a hybrid, but it was a turbo diesel hybrid, and it was only sold in Europe. And then they did the new plug-in hybrid that they've been doing for the past several years now with the 4-cylinder gasoline engine. But regardless, the new one is the 6-cylinder. You can there's 2 different versions. There's P440E and P510E. I assume the P440E uses the 360 horsepower version of this 6-cylinder engine that is used in the Discovery. It's used in the current Range Rover. And with the electric motor, it gives you in all, 440 horsepower. And so in the battery is a 38.2 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery. The usable capacity is 31.8 kilowatt hours. So you can use almost 100% of this battery. And a 105 kilowatt electric motor integrated into the transmission. And this combination provides a WLTP electric vehicle range. WLTP is not used in North America. It's the European standard. WLTP EV range of up to 100 kilometers or 62 miles with an expected real world driving range of 80 kilometers or 50 miles.
Right.
Which is, 62 miles, if you can get that, which is unlikely, but I'm sure possible, is amazing for a plug-in hybrid. Most plug-in hybrids, you can only get 20 to 30 miles on a full charge.
Yeah, there's no doubt that people who get this system are going to be a lot happier with it than people who have the current one.
Yeah.
They've improved. That could be the biggest improvement. It's just the plug-in hybrid and the hybrid systems over the previous generation.
Yeah, and then you have the P510E, which is even more powerful. That uses it says they do use the 400 horsepower tune of that 6-cylinder with the 105 kilowatt hour electric motor. So you get 510 horsepower, 700 Newton meters of torque. 700 Newton meters is 516 pound-feet. And that does 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds, which again is not slow, but it's still going to be slower than the V8, which makes it 13 more horsepower, but it doesn't have all the weight of the batteries and the electric motor.
Which sounds a lot better. Hopefully,
I don't know.
We haven't really heard it.
I know, but remember that engine is straight from BMW.
I know, but you can tweak stuff to manipulate things.
But do you think they've done that? Probably not.
Oh, 100%.
This thing, so like I said, we talked about in the last one a little bit. This is the exact same amount of power and torque as the BMW tune of this engine.
But are they getting it the exact same way?
Probably. I'm sure they probably are.
I don't know.
Let's see.
We're not going to find it in there. We're not going to find it in there. That's going to be like stuff the techs and the engineers are going to know.
All right. So yes, the V8 does 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds compared to 5.3. So it's almost a full second faster than the more powerful plug-in hybrid. Now the V8 is 530 PS, which is 523 horsepower, 750 Newton meters of torque, which is 553 pound-feet. And that comes in, the torque comes in at 1,800 RPM and stays flat all the way up to 4,600 RPM. Now, the BMW power plant makes the same amount of power and torque, but I just wanted to make sure where that torque comes in, if it has a different let's see, 500. That comes in. So actually it makes the exact same amount of power, the exact same amount of torque, and it has the exact same torque curve as the BMW engine in this Range Rover.
Oh.
Probably going to feel the exact same. Now, granted, it's a different car.
I don't think it feels the exact same. I don't think so.
And like I said, I don't like that engine. And like I said, the reliability of that engine is notorious. It's notoriously unreliable. I told you I have a neighbor that had one, and he
is it worse than the current V6 engine that Land Rover makes?
I would argue 100% yes.
Well,
these new engines, these new BMW engines aren't too bad when they're new, but once they get like 50 to 70,000 miles, then a lot of stuff happens. But granted, I have a neighbor that had a 750i. He leased it, and it had like 40,000 miles on it, and it needed a new engine.
Yeah,
same engine.
There's a lot of V6 Range Rovers that need new engines with less miles. So
I tell you, my mom's Discovery has that V6 engine, and it's in the supercharged V6 has not had a single issue.
You know what? But like I've seen most of these now, maybe because I'm biased towards Range Rovers, but I've heard most of the problems. It's with the Range Rover, with the engine in a Range Rover versus that engine in a Discovery having issues.
Which makes no sense because it's the same
Makes
platform.
Zero sense.
It's the same platform, same exact engine, same transmission. It could be packaging differences, but that wouldn't make any sense. I don't know.
Affect it, but
no, you're talking you're talking the supercharged V6.
Yeah, the one that the crankshaft blows up.
That's the diesel. The diesel is the one that has the crankshaft issues.
I thought both of them had issues.
Those two engines are completely different. The diesel is a really old engine that was manufactured by Ford and like PSA years ago, and Land Rover bought the rights to it when Ford sold. Land Rover, but Ford still manufactured that engine for them under
I
contract.
thought both V6 engines were kind of troublesome.
But yes, the diesels, yeah, I've seen crankshafts fail at well over 100,000 miles. I've seen crankshafts on those diesels fail at 10,000 miles. But the supercharged V6 is it's the 5-liter V8. They just drill 6 cylinders into it instead of 8 cylinders. It's the exact same engine, which they don't make that engine anymore. The V6, they still do the V8, but they're saying here dynamic launching gauge. So I guess it has launch control mode.
Because they would call it that. That doesn't make sense to have something like that on a Range Rover.
Yeah, it says the new engine produces 750 Newton meters of torque and powers the new Range Rover from 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds with dynamic launch engaged and a top speed of 155.
Dynamic launch engage sounds like some marketing BS.
Yeah, which it's probably marketing BS for brake torquing the car.
Like, it's just launch control would be called launch control. Why change? Yeah. Why? Yeah. So I doubt it. Like, I could see that on the Sport. Why the hell are you going to put that on a full-size Range Rover?
I will say they're saying here the new V has been calibrated to suit the requirements of the world's most luxurious and capable SUV that features a specially designed sump to ensure the new Range Rover can cope with 45 degrees of articulation in extreme.
There you go. So the engine
they put a new sump on it. This is the V6 and the V8s. In Jaguars, they have the exact same 5-liter and 3-liter. They have different sumps than all the Land Rovers.
Right. Like, yeah.
You have to change that.
Yeah, like things will be changed for sure. So I just don't know enough about engines. So
yeah. Anyway, we'll leave. We'll put a pin in that and come back to it later. But I don't know. I'm happy that the V8 is still there. I'm very happy they're still doing it. I still wish it was the 5-liter.
Yeah, so do I.
I don't think that V8 BMW engine has nowhere near the amount of character that the.
We'll see what they've done with it.
We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. What else is there? Interior. Like I said, infotainment's cool. It's still, Pivi Pro, which has been around for a couple years now, but it's a really, really good system.
Yeah.
It has that. Oh, where was the yes, there's three Meridian audio systems, the base 400-watt Meridian sound system, which now has a center channel, so it is surround sound even on the base Meridian, which they've never done before.
Yeah,
the Meridian sound system never had surround until this. Then there's a Meridian 3D sound system, which gives you a better surround, and then obviously the height speakers and an 800-watt amplifier instead of the 400-watt. And then there's the Meridian Signature, 1600 watts, and it's like 30 something speakers with the active noise cancellation.
Yes.
And the noise cancellation
for that.
which is pretty much only, from what I can tell, the noise cancellation is basically just part of the Meridian Signature system. It has speakers in the headrests. It's like noise canceling headphones, which is actually really, really cool. More stuff. The 3D surround camera, that's been around since the Defender. That's nothing new. The tailgate event suite, which is actually pretty cool.
It's just the seating.
Yeah, but they also said that on Meridian's website, if you get the tailgate event suite, you actually get more speakers in the car.
Well, yeah, you just get the 2 speakers on the tailgate.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Like, it's a party trick.
It is a party trick. It's like if you're some rich person that's going to go watch horse racing or
if you want to have some fucking beers with your buddies,
and then there's that too.
You're going to fucking open that up. That's what I'm going to use it for.
That was where I was going with that.
Remember, Range Rover is $100,000 vehicle. Rich people ain't buying it.
Yeah.
Right.
I know.
Right. You're a 20-year-old driving a Defender.
Yeah.
Right. Rich people don't
like a lot of money for that. But.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, it's not that rich poshness that people are thinking anymore. Right.
No.
you
It's
know,
people like the Kardashians. They're rich, but they ain't fancy. Well,
nah, man,
but
like,
they're also crap people.
they
But
they no, they buy them for their beater vehicles.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Like, let's not pretend the Range Rover's like in the same class as the Bentley Bentayga or Rolls Royce Culligan. Right.
some people are kind of comparing
Some
the
people are
SV
idiots.
too.
Or what?
People are comparing the SV to that to the
Who? The Land Rover marketing department?
no.
Who's comparing the Range Rover SV to a Bentley Bentayga?
A lot of people. Because
Who?
Show you think about it, they're
morons.
They're
No,
basically in the
it's
same
just-
price
there's no-
category.
It's
No, it's not
Nope.
as nice, but they cost
It's not
similar
like
money.
does it a
Yeah,
fully
the
loaded
S-
Range Rover compared to a fully loaded Bentley Bentayga?
That's a different story. A fully
No, it's
loaded
not.
Range
You
Rover.
said same money. Well, give me a fully loaded Range Rover and a fully loaded Bentley Bentayga. Is it the same money? No, one's a
because
house.
you didn't let me finish. I said the fully loaded Range Rover costs basically the same money as a light to mid spec Bentley Bentayga.
Okay, so what does that tell you right now about Range Rover and Bentley?
They're not designed for the same people.
Bingo. Just like
Well,
a fully loaded Jeep Grand Cherokee is a cheap Range Rover.
Yeah, but also I will say that if you own a Bentley Bentayga, you almost certainly have a Range Rover.
No, not necessarily. You're
Yeah.
probably just driving a Bentley.
You probably have a Range Rover. Like I'm like
Doubt it.
going back to the Kardashians. You probably have a Range Rover as your everyday car
But you can't compare celebrities because like they just spend it on like
because
whatever.
I mean, the Kardashians are famous for literally nothing.
no,
All they
no,
do is
but
they
like
get
we're
paid to
just
go out
talking
and
income
shop.
wise, right? When you
Yeah.
get to like when you're doing a few $1 million a month,
Mhm.
You look at spending a little differently, right? Like a Range
Yeah.
Rover is a really easy impulse decision,
Yeah,
right? You buy it for a kid, whatever.
yeah,
Right. But a fully loaded Bentley Bentayga is like double the cost.
yeah.
Like, right?
Loaded
You're looking
Bentley
at like
Bentayga is
what?
like $350,000.
Yeah.
You can buy two really nice
So let's not
mid-spec
like,
Range
yeah.
Rovers for that.
So that's what I'm just saying. And you know, I'm a fanboy.
yeah, me too.
Range Rover ain't a Bentley.
No, it's not.
They can try all they want, but it ain't it.
No.
Right.
So speaking of that, event suite, whatever the hell it's called. So for people that are going to be watching this on YouTube, this is it. Here we have this very posh looking lady sitting.
Frezza.
Yes, she looks Italian and she's got like what Gucci sunglasses on.
Like why did shit. Oh,
Like-
fuck. I need to get yeah. I'll do a video as soon as I can get one of those. I'll show you what the event suite's really for. All right.
Yeah,
As soon
beers,
as I can get me one of these.
Partying.
Let's
Like
be like,
you
this
pull
will
up
be the
to
new Land
this.
Rover marketing. Like
Yeah.
I know, and like you can tell who they're going after, but like
Yeah.
it's
Oh
yeah,
my God.
I'm-
If the marketing people saw like someone taking this to a football game tailgating, they'd probably get sick in their mouth.
well, no, but I think they also understand the luxury market has changed a lot over the
Oh,
years,
yeah.
right? It's no longer this Frezza buying it. It's young folks
Mhm.
who just make good money purchasing.
In
it's
Chinese people.
Right. Yes, definitely. So
A
it's
lot of
just-
young
it's-
Chinese people. 'Cause
Yeah, correct.
I'm not being racist. That's just
No, I'm just trying to like think, okay, which direction do I go on that? No, that's not, facts aren't racist.
yeah. I mean, China
Right.
sells more cars than basically everywhere else, and
It's no. So
Younger
like
people in
luxury
China have
market is
money.
just different now,
Yeah.
right? Like it's just different. Like Ferrari has this issue, and
Yeah.
they still have the stick up their ass.
they do.
Because they don't like young people driving their cars or like these or YouTubers driving them because
And then you have to
promoting
buy.
them or doing any of that because it ruins the brand, and they have
Yeah.
that absolute bullshit.
And it's like, oh, you want to buy a brand new Ferrari? Yeah, you can afford it. You can't buy it. You need to buy a used Ferrari first, and then you can
Right.
buy
And
a
I'm
new
like,
Ferrari.
no,
It's funny.
no.
This Saturday, I have a friend of mine coming on. She works for Ferrari. I'm gonna question her on some stuff to see if it's really true or not. I know she will not budge at all, but
Yeah.
It's worth a try, right? But no, but no, like it's kind of speaking of like in China, like cars are so expensive in China. Like there's Miami University here in Ohio, in Oxford, Ohio, which is like an hour north of me. It's a party school, but there's a huge Chinese population up there. All these kids go to school there. They come from China. Their parents give them money to go like buy a car. They think, they'll give them like 200, 250, $300,000 for a car. And they think, oh, they'll just go out and buy like a Toyota Camry with that. Cause that's like how much a Camry costs in China.
Right. Yeah, I know.
And then they all show up and they're driving around in Lamborghinis in a fucking college
No, bro,
campus.
I'm from Vancouver. Like I know how the Chinese do their spending on vehicles and stuff. I'm very familiar with that. So,
I wasn't sure, but it's kind of funny seeing people my age partying, barely speaking any English, partying just because they have a Lamborghini that their parents thought, and their parents think they went out and bought like a Toyota Camry.
Yeah,
but it's different. It's a different world. It's a different world. Different culture, all that. What else? Interior. I think the interior of this, I still have this pulled up. Really, really, really nice looking interior. I'm not a big fan of the 2-spoke steering wheel, even though it's kind of a force. I'd say it's a split 2-spoke steering wheel. I prefer, a sportier steering wheel, but remember, this isn't. It's not really a sports car. I'm sure the Range Rover Sport, when it comes out, will have a much better steering wheel than this.
Yeah.
It has a big digital gauge cluster. It's a 13.7-inch gauge cluster, which the industry standard is 12.3 inches for a big one. Some like Volkswagen, they have like smaller ones on like the cheaper cars. And then, Audi and Mercedes, BMW, Jaguar, Land Rover, until now, fucking GM, Chrysler, it was always like you had to have a 12.3-inch gauge cluster. That's what they all are. I don't know if there was a law around that or if it was just the industry standard, but they made it bigger. And this has a 13.1-inch curved Pivi Pro touchscreen, which is actually bigger than the current curved ones that are in, the Jaguars and the Land Rover Discovery. So it's not the exact same screen. It is bigger. It has Amazon Alexa in it. Okay. I could care less about that, really. I don't care about Amazon Alexa.
I think car companies should stop doing that. Just open it up and let people use whatever they want to use. Like Amazon Alexa, I'm never once going to use it. I just don't use it. Right.
I'm kind of worried that I don't know how this will turn out, but I'm kind of worried maybe in like 10 years with like the rise of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, if automakers are just going to stop developing infotainment.
Oh, 100%. They need to tie it over and hand it over to Google. And people
I don't want Google in my car stealing all my information.
Oh man, you give that up.
Difficult. I know.
Automakers are like the worst people to design this shit. They need to hand it over to the pros who understand tech. Yeah. And then our cars will finally be up to speed like our phones.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I will say though, Tesla was pretty good at that.
They just can't make
Tesla's a tech company. Tesla's a tech company, not a car company.
Exactly.
And I hate the people that buy Teslas.
Not all of them are idiots.
No, but a lot. I'm talking about the ones that join the Tesla clubs.
Well, I know. They're just what's his face? Musk understands how to build a cult following, and it was just phenomenal. It's just like Apple.
Yeah.
Right. But that's how you sell the most products. Yeah. So. Yeah, no, it's okay.
I think with that, like the Tesla people that are super into it, they think they are car enthusiasts, but they're not.
Yeah, that's okay.
They think they become car enthusiasts because they bought a Tesla, and
it's like Apple people think they're techie people, but they're no, most of them just like Apple, and they don't know anything else about tech. No, like that's totally okay. Like,
but I will say that all these automakers, like for example, like Pivi Pro was not actually really developed by Land Rover. I mean, Land Rover had the design and all of it, but it's BlackBerry QNX software. That's what it is.
Wow, BlackBerry. That's the company you want designing fucking tech.
Yes, it is, because
my
they
part.
are all about.
No, don't even. No. Really, BlackBerry. How are they? What's their stock trading at? $1? Negative $1? Like, bro, man, BlackBerry.
They have gotten, so actually it's funny. I saw this earlier today. Today it's January 4th, Tuesday,
Yeah.
January 4th, 2022. Today's the
Yeah.
last day the old school BlackBerry phones will work. Starting tomorrow, if you have an old BlackBerry phone, it will not work at all. Like
Stock.
it.
Yeah.
I still have
One.
a BlackBerry. That was my very first phone. Was a BlackBerry.
Jesus.
And I thought I was hot shit at school because I had a BlackBerry, and I got it when everyone was starting to transition from BlackBerry to iPhone.
Yeah, no, BlackBerry is just like that company. Like,
but they make software. They don't do phones anymore. They're a software
I know.
company.
I just like, have they even learned their lesson? Who knows? I'm not a tech person, but it's like,
a lot of tech people will tell you BlackBerry's software is very good. I'm not going to argue with you because you're entitled to your own opinion.
I just like, no, they've just like, it's like companies
they've kind of fallen off the radar.
Right. Like companies that make such a colossal mistake as what they did. It's really, they have to make a massive shift. And like, yeah, maybe they are doing better, but like,
yeah,
that's like Blockbuster saying, hey, we're going to pedal with or Kodak, right? Like, look what Kodak did.
Where's did Kodak? They do? I mean, yeah, they did. I know they did the disposable cameras.
No, but like they didn't change because they thought the market was going somewhere else. Right.
Yeah.
But they're still around, but they do something, but nobody knows what they do. Well, people know, but
right. In BlackBerry, I'm like, when the iPhone came out, they thought the screen was stupid. And they didn't get in ultimately.
Well, I know, and that's now what's BlackBerry doing? Right. But like, I just don't know, man. Like, honestly, that's a massive gamble. I didn't know that. Like, and it might be no issues, but like, wow, it's not like Land Rover is known for their amazing technology.
Right.
Like they're amazing infotainment technology.
They've never been. Pivi Pro is the best they've ever done. Is it perfect?
Well, obviously, they can't keep going. They can't go backwards.
But now, at least, it's extremely competitive. It's extremely competitive.
It is. Right. And they definitely have learned. It's just like, I don't know.
It's a little too late, almost. They did it a little too late.
It's not, because remember when iDrive first came out?
When iDrive first came out, I was like 6 months old.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
But
iDrive,
I know exactly.
BMW used to be the laughing stock of infotainment.
Yeah, because they put everything in the screen.
It was everything that you never want to do with your infotainment system was iDrive. But look at BMW now. They figured it out.
They did.
And it's one of the best.
What's funny, they figured it out and they barely changed the basic controls.
Right. Like, I guess, and it could have been like, it came out just too early. Like, we weren't ready for it. But so who knows? And that's why it's like, I won't give up faith or, on like they have like year after year, their warranty claims are dropping like a rock. That's like, that shows that things are improving.
Yeah.
They took a risk. Like,
I will say, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's they took a risk. BlackBerry, I was giving them a hard time, but it's like that company really, they were leaders, and then they said, no, that's never going to work, ignored it, and went bankrupt. Like, companies that make mistakes like that, and I'm sure there's a new CEO and lots of changeover, but like, those are really things that, like, those are scars that go deep, right? So
there's software. I'm curious, like, yes, BlackBerry phones stop working today.
Like, I had one BlackBerry phone. It's the worst phone I've ever had. But
God, I this is like the one I had. Basically, it was this exact one. It had like little touchpad instead of the ball.
Yeah, don't they all look like that? That was the similar one I had, I think. But anyways.
But no, the BlackBerry, they do software now. And I will say, with Lander, kind of going, it's obviously related. sound systems and infotainment, just go together.
Totally.
I will say Land Rover has always done a really good job with their sound systems. They used to do Harman Kardon. They were actually really good. My old Disco 4 had the bass Harman Kardon sound system.
Harman Kardon is used by who now? Is that
Oh God, BMW has used Harman Kardon for years. BMW Harman Kardons, it's a bit strange. I think they sound pretty decent, not excellent, but very decent. But in objective, like audio system testing, they score very poorly.
Really?
But I think they sound pretty good. So BMW uses Harman Kardon; they're the big ones.
Yeah.
Mercedes used to, Land Rover used to, but in terms of companies that do it today, BMW, Alfa Romeo, Jeep has it in some. Chrysler uses Harman Kardon. Dodge.
So is Macintosh only in their high-end ones?
Hyundai uses Harman Kardon. Volkswagen is using Harman Kardon.
So a lot of companies.
Oh yeah, Harman Kardon is used by a shit ton of companies. Again, we have the world at our fingertips. And actually, Harman Kardon was owned by this company called Harman International that got bought out by Samsung a couple years ago. So Harman is now part of Samsung. So automotive, this is at least here in the US. So Harman Kardon is used in Volkswagen, Volvo, BMW, Subaru, Ram, Mini, Hyundai, Kia, Maserati, Dodge, Chrysler, and Alfa Romeo. I can't believe I forgot about like Mini, like that's BMW, but and I'm sure they're used in other cars not sold here in the US. So they are a lot of companies use Harman Kardon. But going back to the old Land Rover Harman Kardon systems were actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's it's
I like
they went to Meridian.
Yeah, I like
Meridian's great.
Who's using what now? It's I want to try Jeep's sound system. That's something I'm looking forward to.
Oh, the Macintosh. Dude. Yeah. So I was in a Grand Wagoneer.
I think we were talking about that before.
Dude, it was really, I didn't get a full proper test of it, but I was extremely impressed. Basically same level as the 825 watt Meridian surround sound. Still not as good as the Meridian Signature, in my opinion, or the current Meridian Signature.
Supposed to be really, really good.
They are, yeah.
But so you didn't try like their top end one?
I did,
Grand Wagoneer.
But I was in a Grand Wagoneer with like all the windows down. There were people crawling in and out of the car because it was at a car show.
Oh, you didn't have like a private? Yeah, no, like
right.
Where you plug your phone in and like.
I did plug my phone in. They let me plug my phone in, and the car was on. But like people were, I wasn't going to be rude and say, "Hey, everyone, get out of the car for like 5 minutes and let me listen to it." I won't.
Man, you just give me 30 seconds. I need to test this.
Yeah, but it was really cool. It has all like the old Macintosh.
How big's the Grand Wagoneer? Big?
Fucking huge.
Yeah,
it's in between, like there's no like small and big one. It's kind of in between the size of a Tahoe and Suburban. But it's
really
good size. I sat in that thing and I was honestly, that thing, the interior quality and materials is within 10% of a Range Rover. It is almost as nice as a Range Rover. And I genuinely
it's like to drive
truckish. Because it's a body on frame.
Yeah, but like
and it gets like 13 miles per gallon.
Yeah, I can imagine it's probably not the best, but it'd be interesting to see how that thing drives and not drives, but what it does for the driver.
Yeah,
and those are some of the things that I really look for.
They're out. I actually saw one yesterday. I'm gonna have to go to my local Chrysler dealer and test drive one because they'll let me test. The thing is, with me, my age, people don't take you seriously, but when you show up in like a higher end car, they do.
Yeah, they'll just give you whatever you want.
Yeah. And usually I hate to waste people's times. And luckily I have a lot of friends that work at car dealers.
Okay.
And usually I'll go to them. But like
you ain't wasting time. Just be like, hey, let me take this car. I want to go show my wife. Okay, bring it back tomorrow. Boom. You have a full day with the car. That's what I do.
And the thing is, like if I go to I don't fucking care if I'm wasting someone's time at a Chrysler dealer, because guess what? As soon as I leave, 30 seconds later, Joe Schmo is gonna come in and they're gonna buy
I hate dealing with those dealerships so much. My brother just bought a new Tram because, well, we lost his other one on the mountain. Yeah, it's just his buying experience was so much better this time around. But those, yeah, I don't those dealerships, I just can't stand it.
Suck. Yeah. So we'll kind of wrap this up in a bit. Let's just talk a couple more things about Range Rover. You know, like there's just so much. So I guess next thing, they're doing an full EV Range Rover. It's going to be on sale in 2024.
Yeah.
I've faith in them because Jaguar Land Rover kind of hit a home run with the I-Pace when it came out a few years ago.
Yeah.
When it came out, it was fantastic. Now it's still good, but it's kind of old. I mean, EV technology has gotten so much better in 3-4 years since that car came out. But this car, this platform, this new MLA Flex platform is designed for, you know, full ICE, plug-in hybrid, and full EV. So what would you buy an electric Range Rover?
No.
Neither would
Who would
I.
buy an electric Range Rover? God.
I don't know. Maybe
Okay. No.
someone will.
Electric vehicles aren't there yet, and they won't be there by 2024.
They're not. No, they won't.
Not for big ass SUV. That's like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Jeep's doing some great things on their 4xe.
I'll tell you
Right?
what. Speaking of that, my neighbor got a Sport SVR last year.
Yeah.
Or actually, it was probably pushing 2 years now. Ordered it, took forever to get, and didn't really like it that much.
Yeah.
So he said the ride was a little too rough. It was a little too race car.
Did he not test drive one? Like, I don't understand how people can make this type of decision.
He was gonna get an autobiography.
And then what? He test drove an SVR.
He test drove an auto. He was going to test drive an SVR, but it turned out that one was already sold, and the person that bought it was going to pick it up at any moment, so they couldn't.
Okay, so whatever. And then
so he drove an autobiography. That's what he wanted to get, was an autobiography. And he said, well, if I'm spending this much money, I might as well go for the SVR.
So he's not a car person. He didn't know.
No, he's not. He's not a car person.
Okay, cool. That's all that in that. Yeah. That just sums it up. Okay.
He likes nice cars, but he's not a car person. But he's not like us.
You can he doesn't know what the car is. He bought something. He didn't know what it was.
So, he went all out. He got like everything. Meridian signature, like the carbon fiber hood. It was Santorini black interior. It's a very nice car. He still has it. His wife drives it around. So he was like, it rides too rough. So what does he go out? He buys a Wrangler 4xe.
Oh yeah, that's like a lot softer,
right? But he loves it because he's cool. I talked to him.
Power to him.
No, for him it works. You know, I talked to him New Year's. You know, we went to his house at New Year's, and he said that he's had that car since like May. He's only filled it up twice with gas because he drives that thing to work. His commute is like 4 miles.
Really drive. Right.
Like okay,
yeah. And there's people who drive like 4,000 kilometers a year.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really count as like, you know, it's like, okay.
No, but for him, you know, it makes sense. But like I said, as you were saying, like, you were saying you like what Jeep is doing 4xe. I think the Wrangler 4xe is a really good car. And in fact,
an electric Range Rover, I just don't think the technology is going to be there for it to be as good as it should be. That's why I won't buy it. Not only that, you talk about like charging systems, and I know they're better in the States, but they're nowhere near where I would want them to be to have an electric vehicle.
Even here where they're, just popping up everywhere, it's still going to take a very, very, very long time for these things to really make sense.
They should just be putting them at every gas station.
Yeah.
Right.
But big oil doesn't want that.
Right.
And rightfully so.
No, of course. So I think we're a long way from that. But
and if you want an electrified Range Rover, get that extended range plug-in hybrid. You can go
or just go buy a Rivian RS1 or RST.
Yeah. Oh, I saw one of those this past weekend on the road.
Like, that would be so much better than an electric Range Rover. 10 times better.
And a lot of
Buy an
people are
actual electric vehicle.
buying
Don't
like
buy
Rivians
don't
are
buy a
coming
company
from
one. Yeah.
Range
Yeah.
Rover.
I would definitely do that. Like,
Those look really cool.
yeah, no, they look so sick.
I can't believe I saw one in person. I was on the highway and there's this car coming. I was like, wait, what the hell is that? I was like, oh fuck, that's the new Rivian R1T. And I was on the highway doing like well over the speed limit. I was doing like 90 miles an hour, and I was just like, and then just staring in my mirror, like, like holy fuck. It's like I haven't seen one yet, and they're like not.
Yeah, no,
they're in
neat.
production, and they're really cool.
In production and delayed.
Yeah,
but that was expected.
They're actually, it's funny. They're made in the old plant in Illinois that was oh shit, it was Mitsubishi Chrysler. Fuck, I have to look it up. I can't believe I'm was it DSM? Yeah, it was DSM. I thought that's what it was. I just want the Diamond Star Motors. It was the joint venture ship between Chrysler and Mitsubishi. Like you had like the 3000 GT and you had the Eagle Talon.
Yeah, long time ago.
And they had this big plant in Illinois, and that's where they're now making Rivians. It's kind of like how Tesla bought the old GM Toyota factory in Fremont, California, in the Bay Area, where they used to build the Toyota Matrix and the Pontiac Vibe. That's where, like, God, who would have ever? And they used to make pickup trucks in the old Tesla factory. They used to make pickup trucks. Can you imagine like pickup trucks being built in San Francisco Bay Area where they're frowned upon?
Back in the day, huh?
Jeez. Yeah, God. Cool. But anyway, so yeah, I'll tell you. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on, social media, YouTube?
Driven Hard on YouTube and Driven Hard Official on Instagram.
Just look at the hat if you're watching this.
If you're watching this, look right? So
yeah, well, Emeka, thank you so much for coming on. We will have to come. I'm going to invite you back on again later down the road to talk about stuff other than the Range Rover, because you have a lot of stuff.
Lots in the automotive space.
Yeah. Automotive space. You need to tell some stories about your Range Rover, the adventures you've done on that.
I'm gonna film some videos about talking about, lots of people have been messaging me about Mexico and driving in Mexico, and like, how do you bring your car into Mexico? And so I'm actually gonna film some videos about stuff like that, like okay, it's safe and how to do it, and like all the because I have dash cam, and I got like dash cam footage that like I can't wait to share with you guys, because like you have no idea what it's like driving here sometimes. Like,
is it crazy? Is it like driving in Rome?
Essentially, yes, it is. Just with wider streets.
All right, that's nice.
It's just nuts. Like, it's just like markings on the road don't apply. Most of them are worn off and don't get repainted.
I was in Rome.
It's crazy.
I was in a car accident, or I was in a taxi in Rome. I was in like a Lancia Ypsilon or some piece of little crap Italian car, and someone hit us. Someone on a motorcycle hit us. You will not find a single car in Rome that does not have some scratch on it. I saw a brand new 911 that was scratched up, but
that's crazy.
Mexico, all right, buddy. Yeah. Well, Mac, again, thank you so much for coming on, and we
appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we will have you on again. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, man.
Happy New Year. All right. Cheers, bud. We'll talk to you later. All right.